All right, today we're getting down to the nitty gritty. The end is near. I can feel it in my bones. I'm so excited. I know you are too. Section 12.4, we're doing volume of a prism and cylinder. For the volume of a prism, it is the area of the base times the height of the figure. All right, I know. You're used to saying, well, it's length times width times height, Mr. Boyer. No, that's not quite the plan. The reason you always learned it as length times width times height is because you always did a rectangular prism or a box, which is length times width times height, because length times width is the area of the box or area of the base. But what happens, let's say, if you have a triangular prism, okay? Now the triangle is the base and you have to find the area of that triangle. Okay, because remember, in a prism, two bases are going to be exactly the same. Everything else is a rectangle going around. So even though this little rectangle here looks like a base, it's not. It's actually a lateral face that goes around. Okay, it's your two triangles that are your bases. So again, volume is area of the base times the height, where B is the area of the base, H is going to be the height of the figure. A cylinder is the exact same thing. It's area of the base, which happens to be a circle, times the height of the figure. So that's just going to be pi r squared h, and that's what you're going to have to remember. So what we want to do is we want to find the area of this circle, multiply it by the height of the cylinder, and off we go. These last few sections, these are going to be pretty nice, pretty easy. The hardest thing is going to be when you have to do the volume of a base. That's, requires you to find, like the apothem and all that. I know you guys love to do those, okay? So let's take a look at some of the problems. All right, I'm gonna do 4 problems for you. For this first one, okay? This looks like a big giant rectangular box that had a chunk taken out. So what we wanna do is we wanna figure out what would be the volume if this were a complete entire box without this missing piece right here, okay? So the volume would be the area of the base, which is 9 times 4, okay? Times the height of the figure, which is 5, all right? When we multiply that, that's 180. But we're gonna have to subtract this part here. Well, this part here that we're going to subtract, so that's the volume of the missing, okay, is going to be 5 times 4 times it has a height of 3, okay? So that's gonna be 60. So our total volume is going to be the 180 if it was an entire big, box, minus this missing part, which was 5 times 4, because this part's 4 here, times 3, which is 60. So it's 180 minus 60, and that gives us a total volume of 120. Okay? Take a look at number 4. We have a triangular prism. Volume, again, area of the base times the height. Well, my bases are the triangles. So it has a base of 8, and if we notice here, this 6 is actually the height of that triangle. So if you remember how to find the area of a triangle, 1/2 base times height. So that's half of 8 times 6, which is 24. So this is going to be 24 times the height of this triangular prism is actually 4. Okay, because what's happening is this is laying on its side. It's laying on the rectangle. If it were laying on the triangle, then you would be able to see the height, okay? And then 24 times 4 gives me a total volume of 96. Like I said, these aren't too bad. All right, let's take a look at number 8 now. Okay, so for number 8, we have volume is pi r squared h, right? So what we want to do is we want to fill in here our 5 and our 12 into our problem. So let's go with volume equals pi times 5 squared times 12. So that's going to be pi times 25 times 12, which happens to be 300 pi. And I believe they want the answer to 2 decimal places. But in this case, when we take the 300 times 3.14, we get 942. Okay? Cylinders. really, really nice because it's just put in an R, put in an H if you need it. For number 10, they give us the volume. We have to find the missing side length, okay? So our volume is 1440. That's going to equal our 15 times x is the area of the base. So that's 15x times our height is 8. So 1440 equals 15x times 8. So 1440 equals 120x. Now we just divide by 120 and x equals 12. So our missing part is 12, okay? So what you guys got to do, page 235, 236, you're going to do 1 to 12, wash your hands, save a life.